Have you ever been playing Subnautica and thought, this game feels eerily lonely despite having life all around me? Well, today I'm going to delve into what exactly gives Subnautica its terrifying loneliness. Just a word of warning, this video may contain spoilers for the whole game, so I recommend you play Subnautica before watching this. First, let's talk about Subnautica's ambience. It's designed in such a way that it's as far from human sounding as possible, with distant roars and generally unsettling sounds making you on edge and creating a sense of mystery. I feel like the fact that this ambience plays constantly throughout the game emphasises the feelings of nobody's coming to save you, and the only thing around that keeps you company is the roars of the creatures and the echoing of your breathing. Between the sounds of your breathing and the animals roaring, the loneliness really sets in, as the vastness of the ocean makes your breathing echo, as if it's searching for someone else doing the exact same thing as you are. Whenever I play Subnautica, I find myself responding to the PDA and the vehicle voices more than I've ever done in any game before, as if I'm trying to start conversation just because of how lonely I really am. I think the Subnautica devs knew exactly what they were doing with the PDA voices, along with the voice recorded databank entries, because I find myself constantly replaying these entries, not from mistakes, not from forgetting I'd listened, but just to hear some other people talking, to fill the void of 4546B. Everybody that's played Subnautica before knows the feeling of getting the radio messages in the life pod, asking for help from other distressed life pods. You drop everything to try and find some company, or to help the people, or maybe just to find some loot along the way. But when you get there, you realise that those messages have been recorded long before you arrived on the planet, and all the people inside the life pods have either escaped or met an even worse fate. And the fact that these people are missing pushes the theme of loneliness even further, because you got your hopes up thinking you'd find someone, but in the end the life pod had a massive hole ripped into it, and there was no one there apart from a PDA talking about the danger they were facing. This loneliness and desperation to find someone else really ties into Subnautica's theme of terror, because with nobody around to help you or to just talk to you, your experience with these hostile aliens are a lot harder, as you have to find ways to attack or run away from them most of the time. Having nobody around really makes you feel helpless, and that's why I spend most of the time in the Cyclops, as it's the vehicle that talks to you the most and offers the most protection when you're in danger. And in Subnautica, the vehicles are the closest thing you're going to get to company, either that or keeping a fish with you constantly. And yeah, I do joke about the whole fish friend thing, but the more I talk about this subject, the more I realise it's actually a reasonable thing to do, because it's just nice to have something to talk to, even if it is just a fish that you would normally cook. Upon exiting through the top hatch of the life pod that you start the game in, the game gives you a moment to look around and really take in how vast and empty 4546B is. While you do this, a score plays, which shows you how dramatic the game is going to be and how lonely you're going to feel while playing through it. The Aurora's wreck is centred in the camera during this cutscene, and it makes you think, with a ship that big, surely you can't be the only survivor, and that fills you with hope. That hope is soon shattered after you visit a few of the life pods and realise that yes, you are the only survivor, and that sets you up for the rest of the game and makes you realise that you're going to have to do everything on your own, from exploring the planet to building things and eventually fighting things. The loneliness really sinks in once you start exploring for fragments of things, as they're scattered all over the world and you have to find them individually, piece by piece, and it makes you think that having someone with you would be really helpful, as you could get more done in a shorter period of time, but it's not like that. The game forces you to be self-sufficient and do things alone. Degassi bases can be found all around the game, but all of them are rusty and decrepit, as they've been left to become part of the planet along with the Degassi crew themselves. These rusted bases show you that once you come to this planet, you'll be lucky if you ever leave it alive. And although this game is centred around you trying to escape, you've landed on an alien planet and started damaging that planet's ecosystem, and the game makes this clear to you with the Degassi logs that talk about the beauty of this planet. These Degassi logs are absolutely correct though, because once you become acquainted with the environment around you in your base, you start to see the world in a different light, seeing its beauty and diversity instead of its terror. In my opinion, one of the most beautiful biomes in all of Subnautica is the Lost River, and even though there are ghost leviathans and other dangerous enemies in this area, the colours and design are absolutely amazing, and this ties in with the theme of loneliness, because yeah, it is vast and quite empty, but again, once you become acquainted with it and you can observe it in a different light, all the colours mix together and make something beautiful. When I first played Subnautica, I went from hating the Lost River because of the ghost leviathans and enemies in it, to loving its design and diversity. Subnautica shows diversity really well. It almost looks like every biome could be a different game just because of how different it is, but this difference works together, and each biome has a unique beauty about it, and that's what I love, because you transition from being scared, but once you finish everything you need to do in that biome, you start to love every second being in there, just because of how beautiful it actually is. The game altogether feels a lot less lonely once you start seeing this side of the game, because it's like you become part of the ecosystem yourself. You've left your imprint on the world with your base, and you're acquainted to the environment around you, so you're not scared of the enemies that you're going to come across. I don't know about everyone's experiences, but for me at this point of the game I decided to put windows on my base. Now it sounds a bit stupid, but up until now, I used the base as an escape from the alien world, as it was a nice environment and I could put whatever I wanted in there. But once I'd seen the beauty of the game, I decided to put windows on it to become part of the ecosystem even more than I already was. Once you start to leave the planet and the rocket you've created, you're left with a bittersweet feeling, as you're glad to have escaped the danger of 4546b, but you miss the diversity and beauty of it and you want to go back. You end the game feeling not as lonely as you went into it, because for one reason or another you found some company and left your mark on 4546b. Maybe this beauty and diversity is what caused Alterra to go back to 4546b in Below Zero, but that's a conversation for another video. Thanks for watching my first actually voiced YouTube video. It's not the best, but I'm hoping that over time my voiceovers and video making skills are going to get a lot better. I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe because that's just embarrassing, but it would be appreciated. Also, join the Discord, the link's in the description, but for now, that's all. See you in the next video.